everybody. Hello. So, I don't know if you guys have had the chance to hear the interview that Salamandra did with Nancy Grace, but anybody knows Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace is just amazing. She is really good at analyzing cases, and I thought we would love to hear her perspective of this tragedy as she talks to Salamandra. So we're going to take the time to dissect this interview. We will be listening to pieces and stopping and talking about it and then going through the interview because you guys already know Nancy Grace is the best when it comes to crime analysis. And Salamandra dropped some bombshells, some information that we haven't heard in other interviews. And I think it's because, as this tragedy goes forward and progresses and as time goes on, more information starts to come back to her memory, as she starts thinking about this, because she has nothing more but to sit and think about the tragedy because, we're sitting and waiting for justice. So to me, it's only logical for her to sit and think and things come back to her memory. So let's dissect this. So if you're not into dissecting things and talking about things, it's not the live for you. We're going to take our time and work through the interview and kind of dissect and analyze different pieces of the interview. All right, let's get to it, guys. I'm excited to do this analysis with you guys, but at the same time, very sad about this tragedy. So heartbroken. But let's get started.
Worry, the money, the everything you pour into them to help them advance just one more step in life. I just want you to imagine this. I can hardly even say this with my daughter in my mind. You get your beautiful, wonderful girl through high school. She's fabulous. You get her to college. She's on the verge of graduating. So proud. She goes on a little girls' getaway, girls' weekend. Then you get a call that she's dead. Just let that soak in just for a moment. You get a call, your baby is dead. Because that is what happened to Miss Robinson, Miss Salamandra Robinson. Her beautiful girl, the world in front of her, on the verge of graduating Winston-Salem State in business, goes away for a girl's getaway. And now she's dead. Not at the hands of some masked intruder, not a drive-by shooting, on a girl's getaway with her friends. How can she be dead in the hotel room? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111 with me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But I want you to hear her mother, who is with us right now, as she was speaking to CBS.
I received a call on Saturday saying that my daughter was sick and that she had alcohol poison. But her doctor had never arrived, so I don't know where they had got the alcohol poison from. So at that time, they said a doctor was on the way to examine her. And she wasn't responding, as they told me. Said she was resting a little bit, but she wasn't all the way responding as normal. I told them to keep me informed, and I wanted to know why they couldn't take her to the emergency room. They said because they needed $5,000 cash to be seen in the emergency room. And I said, well, she has insurance. And they said they didn't take insurance by being out the country.
I mean, this girl actually worked in the insurance field. Everything that I just heard is a lie. Everything that this mother was told about the death of her baby girl is a lie.
Whoa, that right there, guys. That right there was a bombshell. Nancy Grace, that's why I knew she was going to break this down, could already identify that the first lie that they said was that it was going to cost $5,000 to get this young lady to the hospital. Nancy Grace gave her experience and they already identified it as a lie. Right there. That is just like, and we already identified this in other videos that we thought it was a lie. But to hear from Nancy Grace, who has experience, has already identified, you know, her background and experience in this particular, like the medical aspect of it, and just already pinpoint the lie right there, it's just like, wow, it just reinforces what we were thinking from the get-go. Like those that have been on this case analyzing it with me, that these friends was trying to get money from the mother, knowing good and well they didn't need it. I wonder what the $5,000 is for. That's the question we have. What is the $5,000 for? It's like, were they trying to get $5,000 from the mother to use to pay the sketchy, shady, unethical law enforcement and the doctor? Shady. That first part, that was a bombshell. I had to stop it right there, y'all, because that right there. Fran Bree Love says she thinks it's a bribe to bribe the doctor. Good point, because it's like, even what the doctor said didn't make sense. There's all these allegations out here, guys. So I don't know what's true, what not to be true. But based upon the death certificate alone, the death certificate tells us that between the time of the injuries that Shanquella had, which was an injury to her crack to her neck and a crack of her back, she only had 15 minutes to live. And there's actually a nurse. I'm going to have to do another video analyzing. There's this nurse that's online. She's pretty good. She has a YouTube as well. And she's been analyzing this case also. And she said, once your neck breaks, it cuts off your airway. You cannot breathe. So she said, you're aware of everything going on. You can look around. You can see people there. You can hear them, but you can't breathe and you can't talk. That is a terrible way to die. So imagine that 15 minutes, she's sitting there. But I don't think she could have made it if she can't breathe. She could have made it past no 15 minutes. I don't know how that happened. That's impossible. If you can't breathe, you cannot make it 15 minits. That's like within a couple of minutes. But hey, make it make sense, y'all. I don't know. But the nurse that was online, she was interviewing with another YouTuber. And she was explaining what's the severity of that type of injury when your neck and back is broke. And she said, it cuts off your ability to breathe. But although you could still see everything going on, you're dying at that moment. That's what the nurse was saying. We'll have to play her video. Maybe after this Nancy Grace one, we'll go and play that clip. Because I thought that was pretty monumental as she was describing somebody dying from that type of injury. I was like, whoa, my God. Hi, Kevin Scamuels. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite person. Hi, Kevin Scamuels. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Kevin Scamuels. I just love you. So happy to see you. I don't always see you often, so I got to take advantage of it, okay? Got to take advantage when I see my Kevin Scamuels in the chat. Shout out. Okay, sorry, guys. I got sidetracked because I saw that Kevin Scamuels. I can't be telling you my business, Peter. I went to law school. That's all I can say. I don't tell all my stuff online because I've had really bad experiences with some psycho people. Kevin Scamuels knows exactly what I'm talking about because she was around when I was dealing with some psychos online. So I'm very kind of discreet about giving that stuff out. Sorry, Peter, but can't give that out. All right, let's get to it again, guys. This is getting deep.
Assume nothing. When you go into an investigation, you believe nobody and no thing that you hear. How in the HELL is this girl resting as opposed to being taken down to the emergency room to HELL with the price? She is dead. She is dead and was never taken to the ER. And I don't.
Wow. That's why I told you we got to analyze this one. She is basically reinforcing and confirming what some of the witnesses have said in this case. We have a maid who was there. She's a service worker. She claims when she got there and touched Shanquella, Shanquella was hard. Now, we already know that sounds like rigor mortis to me. If anybody knows about rigor mortis, your body starts to get hard over time. So she's already saying she thinks that possibly rigor mortis, a post-mortem rigidity in the third stage of death. It is one of the recognizable signs of death, characterized by stiffening of the limbs of the corpse that's caused by chemical changes in the body. But oh my gosh, I'm telling you, Nancy Grace asked me how to get into this. Nancy Grace is already, she's not here for the stuff. She's not here for these Cabo 6 mess. When Nancy Grace is on the story, I think Cabo 6, they need to go back and hide somewhere because she is not playing.
Don't buy for 1 minute that this girl, this beautiful young 25-year-old girl, was resting. That's total BS. Now, listen to this.
I told them just keep me informed, and they did call back.
Sorry, guys, I forgot something. When she said the part where she said resting, something just came to me, so I had to interrupt it, guys. I told you we were going to stop and talk and then stop and talk. If y'all want to listen to the whole thing straight through, I promise you, I will put the link in the chat so you can listen to it later. But for this video, we're analyzing, because I know people get in the chat and they're like, why do you keep stopping it? Because we're analyzing right now. I will put in the chat, and you will have to listen to it all through when we're done. But right now, let's analyze. Okay, anyway, something that stood out to me when she said basically hogwash to that whole lie that Shanquella was resting. We know that's hogwash. That goes back to Nazir. Remember, Nazir was over there lying, talking about she was resting. She wasn't dead yet. She was resting. I was rubbing on her head. You didn't feel that? You didn't feel her temperature change in the hardness of her body? Come on now. It sounded like this man was lying, okay? Now, we can acknowledge that Nancy Grace is just giving an opinion, but still, her analysis is sounding pretty logical to what the maid was saying, because there's statements that the maid was saying, or the service worker was saying the same thing that what Nancy Grace is saying in her analysis. So, guys, this is sounding like Nazir was lying, that they had to have known she was not alive. Come on now. You can feel this woman's body. She's not responsive. There's no breathing. Come on now.
But they're still saying it was alcohol poison. So by later on that evening, they called and said that Shanquella had passed. And at that point, it just took my heart, crumbled up, just knowing my child was gone and I couldn't get there to her, could not do anything. And they said the medics came, 3 medics came, and no one couldn't do anything, couldn't save her.
I'm so mad right now I could chew a nail in half. Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of the facts as we know them right now, keeping in mind that everything we're learning right now is a lie. I want to go to her mother. I want to go to Shanquella's mother. With me, Mrs. Salamandra Robinson. Miss Robinson, I cannot tell you how sorry I am for what you and your family are going through. When I leave the children at school in the morning and I see that phone ring, I'm already in the car on the way because I know something's wrong. And I cannot imagine how you felt when you get a call that something is wrong with your girl and she's resting and she can't come to the phone to talk to you. Oh, hell no. What happened? Just take it from the top, if you don't mind, Miss Robinson.
Well, like I said, they was saying that she was resting and she wasn't really responding. That's why they called the ambulance. And when the ambulance got there, they said the ambulance was working on her. And as I got from reports saying that the ambulance was working on her for 2 to 3 hours, but no one ever decided to take her to the hospital.
Now, here's another thing. How can you be resting and unresponsive? Like when did they try to get her to talk to you on the phone? But Start at the beginning. When you get the call, where are you?
When I got the call, I was out eating.
Okay, so you were what, in North Carolina?
Yes.
So North Carolina time, it was what, 7:00 at night?
It would have been about 6 or 7.
Okay, so she is in San Jose del Cabo, Mexico. So that, I think, would have been 3 hours behind. Like, they're on California time, correct?
Yes.
So 4 p.m. their time, 7 p.m. ish your time.
I think my opinion is when they called her, I think Shanquella was already dead. That's what I think. She wasn't even alive. I think that doctor was a fluke. That doctor didn't do all those CPR things. That doctor probably just got paid and they were trying to say, can you get some more money? So they called the mom to try to get that $5,000. Because I'm like, come on now, y'all. Come on, what you guys think? I think she was already dead and that doctor is shady. What if that, because I hear, tell me if I'm correct or wrong. I hear that some of these villas, they have their own doctors, but there is an allegation that this doctor came from the hospital, but I don't know. What if this doctor was associated with the villa or something and they trying to cover up this little scam? I don't know. Y'all tell me what you guys think.
You get a call. And who called you?
Kalia Cook.
Who's that?
That's supposed to have been her best friend.
Did you say Saleha Cook?
No, Kalia Cook.
Oh, the man.
Yes.
And he was a friend of hers. He had gone on family vacations. You knew him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Were they romantically involved?
No.
Okay. Just a friend. Look, it happens. A lot of people can't believe that can happen. I've had a best friend since law school, a best friend man. Study partners the whole way through. So it does happen. So Kalia Cook is her friend and he calls you, correct?
Yes.
And he says what to you?
That Shanquella wasn't feeling good. He thinks she had drunk too much. She had alcohol poison. And I say, what is alcohol poison? Because I didn't even know what alcohol poison was.
Okay. With me, someone that can answer that question very well, Dr. Kendall.
Here's my issue with Khalil. First of all, Khalil did not protect Shanquella in life. And now he's trying to cover up her death. Like he had no empathy whatsoever. This man is sick. He was the main one sitting there when she was getting beat to death, watching, looking like a fool. And then when she dies, already dead, he calling, trying to make up this story, knowing good and well that woman is not alive. Just sick. Going on family trips, smiling in their face, just fake as ever. Oh my goodness.
Crowns, Chief Medical Examiner, Fort Worth, lecturer at University of Texas and Texas A&M, faculty, University of Texas Medical Branch. Dr. Crowns, what is alcohol poisoning?
Alcohol poisoning is when you get so much alcohol in your system that it actually is fatal to your body. Alcohol can be toxic to your heart and also your liver. So when you have a really, really high level of alcohol, it can cause basically poisoning of these organ systems. So it's usually seen in someone who has been binge drinking. And, the standard alcohol level is legal limit is about 0.08 in most jurisdictions. And once you get into a 0.3, 0.4 area, most people will have so much alcohol on board that it will kill them. And that is a lot of alcohol.
Okay, so, hold on. I'm trying to reconcile what you're saying with what Miss Robinson was told. Take a listen to our friend Victor Canato.
On October 29th, one of the guests staying at the resort called for help around 2 p.m. Upon arriving, medical professionals were informed that Robinson had drunk a lot of alcohol. A doctor reportedly said she was stable but dehydrated, suggesting she may be treated at a hospital. The guests insisting she remain at the villa. A police report stating Robinson went into cardiac arrest and was declared deceased around 6 p.m.
There you go. That's why she didn't go to the hospital. Did you hear that? The guests, her girlfriends, insisted she stay there at the hotel. That's why she wasn't taken to the hospital. Now, wait a minute. She went into cardiac arrest, according to what we just heard. But none of this is fitting together. Take a listen to our friends at ABC.
But those reports.
Here's my issue with the whole thing. First and foremost, there has been interviews from the mother and the parents, and they say, number one, Shanquella doesn't drink like that. Khalil, with his dumb self, he should have known good and well the parents were not going to believe this lie because that's not Shanquella's nature. What they did was, I feel like they had a meeting. After this girl died, soon after her neck and everything was broke, she was already dead. Okay, that's what I think. And they sat there for at least an hour before they called the authorities to try to fabricate this story. And the only logical story they tried to make up was like, oh, look, we're in Cabo. What do people do when they go out on trips? They drink, they party. Let's make up this dumb story. But Khalil, with his dumb self, know good and well Shanquella doesn't drink like that. That's not her nature. And so I don't know, why would he make up this bogus lie that he knows good and well, he's dumb, that the mother and the parents are not going to believe that, because that's not how Shanquella is. Shanquella doesn't drink that heavy like that. She'll have some drinks, but she doesn't drink to the point where she's overly drunk like that. That's not her nature. So that's what makes the Cabo sickos so dumb, because they made up a lie that was not otherwise believable, but they tried to make it fit with the circumstances that, oh, we're in Cabo, people party, they do, outlandish things. What makes sense? Oh, let's say she's drunk. Let's say she had too much alcohol. Dumb.
Reports differing from an autopsy obtained by ABC News, stating that medical professionals arrived at the villa around 3 p.m. and declared her dead within 15 minutes, citing that Robinson died from a severe spinal cord injury and a dislocated neck.
For this to happen to her is just terrible. I just couldn't believe it. It's like I'm still asleep, like a nightmare.
And this is why I feel that the doctor was unethical, because once they alleged alcohol poisoning, which I know that doctor, if she's really a doctor, she should have known it wasn't, because you would smell the alcohol literally coming from this woman's body if she was that intoxicated. Literally, the alcohol seeps through the pores when people are that drunk. You could smell it on somebody. If you ever smell somebody who drank a lot of alcohol, I mean like heavy alcohol, it literally emanates from their body. You could smell it. That doctor knew good and well this woman did not have any form of intoxication. These people are complete liars.
Sarah Loop, fortified with vitamins A, D, and E,
did not want her removed to the hospital for 3 hours, like you were told. And
Grace.
the reports from the friend girls are completely different from the autopsy. Did you hear that? To you, Mrs. Robinson, according to the documents from the EMTs, she was declared dead 15 minutes after they got there. They did not get there and work on her for 3 hours, like you were told.
Yes.
She was declared dead within 15 minutes of the EMTs getting there, and the friends did not want her removed to the hospital. Do you understand that to be true now?
I understand that, what is being said. I don't know which way to believe. I believe the autopsy, but the so-called friends, I just don't know what to say about them. I just think it was just terrible the way they done her,
All of this from alcohol poisoning, but yet the autopsy does not say anything about alcohol poisoning leading to her death. It says, Dr. Kendall Crowns, she died of a spinal cord injury. What's that?
And here's why I'm really happy FBI is on this case, because according to the father, there has been an autopsy that the FBI did before they had the funeral. So I am pretty sure the FBI did a toxicology test to refute this lie, because since this lie was released into the ether, basically, into the universe, this fake lie, I think FBI, more than likely, because they're very thorough, they're going to do that toxicology test just to refute it and say, look, there's no alcohol in this woman, or at least draw blood to see if what her blood alcohol level was. draw, to get to find that out. So that's the great thing about this, is that when her body was brought back to America, FBI got on it and they did an autopsy. So that is going to be refuted by their autopsy. And we're going to get a lot more details about this whole situation. I'm actually really hoping that the American authorities take this case over and just say, Mexico, sorry, we're going to go ahead and prosecute. I really hope they do. I hope so.
Spinal cord injury is basically your cervical spine. Is you get injuries to your cervical spine from severe rotation or blunt trauma that results in your head being moved suddenly to one side or another, and that causes fracturing of the cervical bones that then result in damage of the spinal cord that ultimately results in your death, or potentially quadriplegia, meaning you can't move anything below the neck down.
Doctor, I was having a hard time taking in what you were saying. I got it, because I'm seeing out of the corner of my eye a video that has emerged. And it is a video of this beautiful young girl, Shanquella Robinson, just 25. She's naked. She's by her bed. It looks like she's just gotten up out of bed, and a woman is beating her dead. I'm looking at it right now. Now, I don't know all the circumstances, but I know another person, and I just saw a female hand come up in front of the video cam. There's somebody recording this brutal attack, and they beat her until she's down, and she's just sitting there like completely out of it from the beating, like a rag doll. And then once she sits down, this attacker then beats her in the head, and her head is just catapulted over to one side. Could that be what happened to Shanquella, Dr. Crowns?
Yes. So in the video, you can see there's the initial where the one female is hitting Shanquella multiple times in her head. But at some point, she grabs her with her arm and then twists her head and body in a kind of a rotational motion. And then Shanquella is dropped to the ground, and she continues to hit her in the head and neck area. But if you, in the video, you notice that Shanquella is fighting back initially until
I disagree completely. She's shielding herself. She is not landing punches at all. I'm looking right at it. She
also said no.
Yes, you're right.
Correct.
She never even had a chance to fight back.
Misstatement there. She is not fighting back. She is defending.
I gotta say, I love Nancy Grace. She was not having it. That's what I'm talking about. That is real litigation skill. She's like, you're wrong. You're wrong. She was not fighting back. But I'm glad to have this guy on that's going to speak, because he's going to explain that in that video we saw, that is where the injury occurred. And I stand strong on my opinion that that's where the injury occurred. When that woman Dejanay, that demon, that's Demon Jackson. That's her name, Demon Jackson. When she grabbed Shanquella by that neck and swung her with the force I have never seen, and then how she twisted her around, and then Shanquella's back hit that bed frame, I believe that is where the dire injuries occurred. There was another key thing that they said, he was saying was, when you have a spinal cord injury, you can't move your body from the neck all the way down. So that's probably where when she was slammed on the ground, I don't think from that point on, I don't think poor Shanquella was able to move from then on. She probably was able to hear and stuff as she was dying, but I don't think she was able to move from then on. That must have been very terrifying. Oh my gosh, now it's just even more sad to think about what Shanquella went through. She suffered the last few moments of her life. And the sad thing is having to realize that the one person she called her best friend, the person that she said she loved Khalil was right there watching. And that very person was disloyal to her even after her death. You would have thought, guys, he would feel a little ounce of empathy for the one he claimed he loved and did all these little dedication Facebook posts. You would have thought that he would have at least felt some empathy to tell the dang truth. But no, he continued this sick lie, which shows you his dire loyalty to the Cabo Six. He had no loyalty to Shanquella, period. Period.
Herself from the beating.
Like trying to hold her attacker back. She never gets a chance to defend herself. Mrs. Robinson, does she sleep without her clothes on?
Yes, she do.
So she was woken up out of her bed.
So right there, we got two people saying the same thing. Yesterday we went over the article where the sister talked about how Shanquella sleeps naked. And this has got to be the second interview that the mother has said Shanquella sleeps naked. So we could put these little pieces of evidence together that this was some of the things that we thought before too, is that she was woke out of her sleep. It makes so much sense when you rewatch the video, because all of us, a lot of us, pretty majority of us were saying Shanquella looked out of it. Imagine you are in REM sleep. If you guys know what rapid eye movement sleep is, you're deep into sleep. That's when you've reached a level of dreaming. You're so deep into your sleep. Imagine someone just come and wake you out of that sleep. You just be like locked, like the same way. You're not responsive. You're like, whoa, what's going on? You're still trying to get woken up. That's what I think the state was. And I feel like they were in that room. And Dejanay was so angry with her little stank, bitter self in that room, complain. And probably, in my opinion, was telling them, I'm going to beat her, S. And and you guys are gonna come with me, and I'm gonna go out. We're gonna embarrass her. Y'all gonna record it, and I'm gonna go around this way. You're gonna go the other way. I just feel like they sat there and planned this out. Well, but I don't. Again, I'm standing my ground that I don't think this was the plan before they had left to Cabo. I think they did. I think Dejanay didn't like her, and I think she told Khalil, "Look, I don't want her coming." But Khalil convinced them. I do stand that. I do stand to that opinion. But when they got there, Dejanay got angrier and angrier because Shanquella kept shining, and she would make those, jokes that Dejanay couldn't stand, because any little thing that Shanquella did, Dejanay had an issue with. It was, in my opinion, complaining about it to the others. And the others, who just lack any form of their own strength to have their own opinion, just followed the little clique. The Cabo clique, that's what they were from get-go, because they were friends from the beginning, since childhood. But let's get back in.
With one woman standing there videoing and the other woman hitting her like she's Muhammad Ali. And then the attacker, after she has beaten her, this defenseless naked girl who has just been woken up to a beating, she stands back. She steps back and bows back like she's about to put her hands over her head, like she's a champion. What is that, Dr. Bethany Marshall, psychoanalyst out of Beverly Hills? What is that behavior? She's crowing and preening for the video.
Nancy, it would be a mistake to think this is just one woman killing this poor 25-year-old.
Who should I believe? You and my lying eyes. I'm looking right at it.
No, but I mean, when I say a mob attack, maybe there was one attacker, but this was group aggression towards Shanquella.
I agree with
group
her.
aggression, because people are standing by, one person's videotaping, you can hear a voice of someone saying, oh, fight back, Shanquella, as if this was, like you said, Muhammad Ali. They're really minimizing the fact that this poor girl is being killed. I mean, this is a homicide, obviously, but what was this group aggression towards her that we're witnessing? Were they envious of her?
Bam! We have some people online talking about, you don't know what you're talking about. You just First and foremost, you can see we have experts on the Nancy Grace Show analyzing this, giving their logical opinions, Seems like people online be having issues with logical opinions, y'all. And we have an expert psychologist analyzing this, and she could see that there was a mob mentality that ambushed this girl. And number two, she also could pick up that there's possibly some envy going on there. It's a logical inference. I had to just stop that because I had some people online talking about, you don't know if they were jealous. I don't know that. But any logical person can formulate an opinion in their mind based on the external information that we've been seeing, that there was, in our opinion, some envy going on there. And I'm so glad that Nancy Grace had these experts on here who can analyze what's going on mentally, the psychological aspect of this tragedy. And this psychologist is breaking it down. She can, she even saw that, but I liked how she really brought up the whole mob mentality of this. This was a mob. It was a literal mob. You got one girl, the sick girl to the right, either it was Winter or who, Elise. Nobody knows who it is, okay? It sounds like Winter to me. I'm just gonna get my opinion. But that girl's all, why she gotta fight back? Basically, she should be able to just get beat up, whether or not she could defend herself or not. Sound like a bully to me. And then the other guy talking about, won't you fight back, Shanquella? Aren't you going to fight back? Like it does. The psychologist really did break it down that it does sound like this is a mob mentality. Like they literally, what's really going on? I like how this psychology included the responsibilities of not just Dejanay, but the different people that played their separate roles in this mob. And you got the sick friend to the left, Khalil, sitting there watching like it's a show. The very sad thing that Shanquella was afraid of. Shanquella talked about this on her Facebook. She said, if you're my friend and I'm getting WWE'd, you better jump in. You better bring the gun. That's what she said. Well, I shouldn't say that word, but she said that. You better bring the shots. Protect me. Her very words on her Facebook, y'all, manifested. You guys can't tell me words are not powerful, even when they're written on a screen. Okay, written on Facebook. It was so cryptic that her words literally came to life from the screen. It was, as we were going through that Facebook, people even in the chat, we were just floored by we're like, wow, this was like literally exactly, she predicted her life 2 years in advance. 2 years in advance, because she talked about it all year 2021. And then she talked about it back in 2020 about these fake friends and how she's like men could be jealous of her and how, friends have betrayed her and how she's loved people who didn't love her back. That was Khalil playing both sides with his little two-faced self.
Did she have a better life than them? I mean, this is how I think as a psychoanalyst is beyond the brutality of this murder.
And who in the hay is?
Did you guys hear that? We're hearing from the experts right now, reinforcing what we said. The psychologist said, did she have a better life than them? Bingo, yes. Yes, if you have been following this channel and this story, y'all can tell that Shanquella had a better life. She was the only one out of that group, in my opinion, that knew exactly what she wanted to do in life and was doing it very successfully. Of course they were jealous. Of course. And she outshined them with her personality. She was so comfortable. She didn't care whether you hung out with her or not. She gonna go have fun anyway. Hence why she went skinny dipping by herself after looking for them throughout that villa and they refused to go with her. She was like, okay, I'll go swimming by myself. I don't need y'all. I'll still have fun. This psychologist is breaking down and confirming what we have been saying all along, in our opinion. Envy, and then the psychologist said, did she have a better life than them? We can answer those questions, yes and yes, in my opinion. In my opinion.
By one person's videotaping, you can hear a voice of someone saying, oh, fight back, Quilla, as if this was, like you said, Muhammad Ali. They're really minimizing the fact that this poor girl is being killed. I mean, this is a homicide, obviously, but what was this group aggression towards her that we're witnessing? Were they envious of her? Did she have a better life than them? I mean, this is how I think as a psychoanalyst is beyond the brutality of this murder.
And who in the hay is videoing her? Miss Robinson, do you know these women? Who are they?
I don't know the ones that's videoing her. I just know the one that was standing there beside Khalil Cook, and the other one, I didn't know him, the one that's saying fight back. I didn't know him.
Okay, hold on. Who is the person here?
Exactly. The mother is telling us, guys. The mother's already telling us that Shanquella was not close with those other individuals except for Khalil. I talk about this so many times, but I got to keep enforcing it. Mother is telling us without telling us directly. Shanquella was not close with those other people but Khalil. That's why she only knew of Khalil, because when you're usually close with someone, you're more than likely that person's more likely to meet your family than just some random acquaintance that you know from school. Or maybe you could be friends and they're not that close to you. So you're not going to bring the people that aren't that close to you around your family like that. Clue that these people was not really that cool with Shanquella like that. They knew of her at school, but they wasn't cool with her like that. Probably sitting in the background, lurking around, jealous. But I tell you, I believe that, in my opinion, it was Dejanay that had the hatred, and the other little cliquey people that don't have their own mindset follow the leader. You know them cliques that if I don't like you, then all the little friends in that little circle don't like you.
Her.
That's the Deja girl, and I didn't know her. I just know they went to college together.
I've got Dejani Jackson. How are you saying it?
I think it's I don't know how to pronounce her name.
I've got Dejani. That could be. It's a crazy spelling. I don't know what it is. It looks like Dejani or Dejanay.
Her name is Dejanay. Yeah.
I'm done with Nancy Grace. She said Dejani. You know what? It don't matter how we pronounce Dejanay's name. Why should we give her respect and pronounce her name correctly? I have so many people in the chat telling me, you're not pronouncing her name well. Why should I respect a woman who didn't respect another woman's life? I don't owe her a thing, and Nancy Grace doesn't either. I'm going to call her Dejani for the rest of the night. I like it. Dejani.
It's Dejanay because it's got A-E on the end. You're right. Dejanay Jackson. And then you've got Winter Donovan, and it's spelled W-E-N-T-E-R. Is that another female?
Yes.
Then you've got Kalia Cook, the friend boy, the man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's those three and your daughter, Quella, correct?
You know something I thought, guys? Winter Donovan's name really fits her. What do you think about when you think about winter? Very cold, very windy. Most of the time it brings forth depression. Some people don't like winter. It's cold and rainy. And that is how Winter Donovan is. She is cold, in my opinion, based on the information I've seen. And she just has a cold, decrepit, dark soul. Her mother did not realize that she was foreshadowing the dark spirit her daughter would become. Interesting, right? Isn't it ironic?
Yes.
Guys, this is taking place at a very upscale resort in Mexico. And you can look out the window of their Quella's suite. It's beautiful. You look right out on the beach and the ocean, palm trees, sand. I mean, this is about less than 30 minutes from where you see Jennifer Aniston. And thank you for being with us. Where is this place?
This place is still on the coast at the very bottom of the peninsula.
A federal task force officer with the U.S. Department of Justice, DEA, now private investigator at CrispinInvestigations.com. Robert, this goes to show you can be living in or staying in a 5-star resort and crime will find you. And it's very often those that know you the best.
Well, the sad part about it is everyone gives the warnings about going to Mexico and something's going to happen to our kids when they go down there. But how do you fight against the people that you went there with when they're inside your room?
I want Gary Davidson to jump in.
Oh my gosh, guys. He just pointed out something that we were saying. He was like, they're scared that something's going to happen to their kids when they go to Mexico. And then when you go there, it's the very people that's supposed to be your friends. Dang, he dropped.
A partner with Diaz Royce International Law Firm at DiazReus.com. This happens in Mexico at this luxurious resort. Gary Davidson, I want you to hear our friend Erica Jackson at WSOC.
They all came to my house on Tuesday and explained what had happened.
Salamandra says Shanquella's friends blamed her death on alcohol. Then the Robinson family received a copy of her death certificate. It shows she died 15 minutes after injuring her neck and spinal cord. The report also states Shanquella was found unconscious in the living room, and her death is believed to be violent or accidental.
Violent or accidental? And then this video emerges. How can anybody say this is accidental? I mean, to you, Dr. Kendall Crowns, Chief Medical Examiner, Tarrant County, this is no accident. You see the beating. Now we know that she was dead 15 minutes after injuring her neck and spinal cord. Why? Why are you dead 15 minutes after the injury?
So usually with these type of spinal cord injuries, with what she has is an atlas luxation, which means a dislocation of the first cervical vertebrae.
Do you mind saying that one more time? An atlas what?
It's an atlas luxation is what the cause of death is listed as. And what that is cervical vertebrae number one. The one right underneath your skull is the atlas. And it's slid out of place and then pushed on her spinal cord. And then usually what happens is it bruises the spinal cord, but the spinal cord bruises take a little time to set in before they will kill you. So that's why you can see a survival time period of about 15 minutes. But in the video, after she is whipped about her head and dropped to the ground, to me, it doesn't look like she has any more purposeful movement, even though the other individual continues to pound on her. It's that movement there is what killed her.
I need you to speak so we can all understand you, Dr. Kendall Crowns, not in your elocution, but describing this. So you're saying atlas luxation is cause of death, but you're referring to one particular spot just under the head. When that particular spot is dislocated or kicked out of the line of the spine, I'm extrapolating, are you saying the head is then no longer attached, the brain is no longer attached to, for instance, the heart and the other parts of your body that keep you alive?
Right. That's the area of the brainstem is where the cervical vertebrae number one or the atlas is sitting. And that is causing damage to the brainstem, which controls your heart rate, your respiratory rate, all the functions of your body. So it isn't necessarily completely separated, but it's bruised and damaged to the point that the individual dies. And that's why she has a survival time period, because it's damaged, not completely torn.
Well, of course, Gary Davidson.
Oh my gosh, y'all. He broke it down. And even talked about the survival period. Wow. So this is kind of reinforcing what the death certificate says. And also he describes in detail what the significance of that type of injury, where it cuts off the blood flow of that area. Oh my gosh, guys, this is, when you hear the details of that, like, look at the reactions of y'all in the chat. That is so sad. Like, he really broke it down. Like, the exact details of the severity of that type of injury. I am so glad Nancy Grace got on this, guys, because we wouldn't have been able to see the full details, because we can't trust what was going on during this investigation.
As a high-profile lawyer that specializes in international law, Gary, the family knew in the first instant alcohol poisoning. Gary Davidson, take a listen to our friend Joe Bruno.
Shanquella Robinson's friends told her parents that she died from alcohol poisoning. That theory never sat right with her father, and he just, quite frankly, didn't buy it.
I know it wasn't no alcohol poisoning. I know it wasn't.
Shanquella's death certificate never mentions alcohol poisoning. It lists the cause of death as severe.
Found to Dr. Kendall Crowns. Dr. Kendall Crowns, I would like a yes/no answer to these. The autopsy said, did it not, that this atlas luxation was the cause of death, the COD? Yes, no?
Yes.
Isn't it true that in autopsies that tissue samples are taken and blood alcohol and toxicology panels are run? Isn't that true?
Yes.
And isn't it also true, Dr. Kendall?
Bam! What I was telling you guys. Exactly. So this whole lie about the alcohol poisoning, blah, blah, blah. No, they take blood tissue. They're able to analyze that. There was no alcohol in that girl. She just woke up. Lies. Did they not? See, that's how dumb sometimes these criminals are. They make up these stupid lies, not realizing it's going to have to be proven. They're going to be able to determine that and cause of death. Khalil, with his little deceptive self, thought he was going to try to really put a shield over this poor parent's eyes and just make her think it was really alcohol poisoning, so she wouldn't actually inquire and go get an autopsy. She's just gonna like, oh, okay, and then just bury her daughter. No, Khalil, no.
Crowns that those samples would have shown if Quella died of alcohol poisoning, and also the toxicity in her body, her blood alcohol, correct?
Correct.
But it didn't mention that, did it, Dr. Crowns?
Not that I've seen.
It did not. So Gary Davidson, that leads me to this. Not only do they beat the woman, stand by and video this girl getting killed, they then lie about her cause of death to her mother. They lied about it. Now, is lying a felony? No, it is not. But doesn't it suggest to you, Gary, that they lied for a nefarious reason, and that reason being to cover up their involvement in her death?
Yes, absolutely. It very much appears that the stories being told to the family from the very get-go were not true. And it does raise the question of whether this was a pre-planned attack, whether it was organized not only by the person who committed it physically, but those around the room. And
right there, we have another expert having the same analysis that a lot of us had in our prior videos of this. Was this a planned attack? It sounds like it to me. That morning, or even that night, probably, that little stank Dejanay with her little stanky attitude. I know women just like her, just insecure, and they can't, when they see somebody that's doing better than them or looks better than them or whatever it is, their little weak self-esteem self, Dejanay's stank self, couldn't handle it. Because you could tell she already had an attitude when Shanquella was looking for them in the villa and went into the room. She had her little ugly hands on her hip, having a little attitude, talking about, I'm looking for my swimsuit, and that swimsuit is not cute and good enough. Shut up, Dejanay. Shut up. You were insecure and stank. I really don't think logically they planned this before they left to Cabo, because it would be dumb, though. It's Dejanay's birthday. It's Nazir's birthday. Why would they pay all this money to go to Cabo to kill somebody? I really don't think that's the logical explanation. I think when they got there, but I do think there was a history of jealousy that Dejanay had towards Shanquella, because she's seen Shanquella on campus during those years, in my opinion, seeing her, shining in who she was, beautiful, had more than her, was very successful, not only just in her career, but in life, just in who she was. Everybody loves Shanquella. I mean, we got pictures of that to show that in prior videos We got it. Shanquella was a double major in business and in nursing. And in her nursing program, all the different girls, I had a picture of that in one of my videos where they were like surrounding her. And you could just tell that Shanquella was like the center of that room in the picture. And they had little comments about that on the picture. You got to watch the video of that to see that. But anyway, that I did about that. But when there's women like that shine like that, and then you have insecure little low vibrational women like Dejanay, just stank, right? Those women just sit there, they give you a little stank face looking at you and observing you shine. And I guarantee you, when they went to that trip, Shanquella's still shining and being happy, and Dejanay having a little stank attitude in the room, venting all the time to them other girls, and Malik with his little following self, and Khalil, because Khalil's the double-minded, two-faced one. But we have experts on this Nancy Grace thinking the same way we're thinking. So obviously these are logical thoughts. And the reason why I have to reinforce this, because some people are like, you shouldn't be, you doing too much, you reaching. No, it's called looking at the information we have and formulating an opinion, which you can do in these cases. I don't see why it's a crime to have an opinion, y'all. Really?
You know, it's a sad day for the family, but it's also going to be a very, very sad day for these people. Because they are going to be implicated. They are going to, at a minimum, be witnesses in a potential criminal trial.
You got that right, Davidson. They're not just witnesses. And what you said really hits the nail on the head, Gary Davidson. Now I know why you're a high-profile lawyer specializing in international law. This was pre-planned.
Nancy, could I speak to that? Because I agree.
I mean, the woman is asleep in bed. And they come in with a video camera with Muhammad Ali over there in the corner ready to fight.
I'm done with Nancy Grace. I'm so done. She said Muhammad Ali. But why is she describing it to the T, though? Muhammad Ali in the corner ready to fight. It looked like that, didn't it, though? It looked like Dejanay was right in that little corner ready to fight like Muhammad Ali. No, Trissy, she's not a transgender. Isn't that funny though, friend? She said Muhammad Ali in the corner ready to fight. I'm done with Nancy for tonight, y'all. I'm done. But doesn't it look like that though? When you look back at the video, she's in the corner, little Muhammad Ali stank self. She stank. That's her opinion. That's my opinion about her. She stank. Her attitude stank. In the corner ready to fight just because she intimidated. She's intimidated by Shanquella's light, by her success, by her confidence, by her aura, by who she is. Okay, mind you, Dejanay is this little low vibrational customer service rep at Blue Rhino. This fake wannabe aspiring, some medical rep, whatever. She fake as ever. Where's her medical background? She works as a customer service rep. Looking at Shanquella, you got to just look at the information we have. Think about it. They all graduated from school, and you could see who's more successful than the rest of them and who has the most confident personality. And it's very common sense. Anybody could see that with their opinion. Dejanay was jealous and was venting with all them people who just followed her because she had the stronger personality. And of course, cliques, they blindly, it gets on my nerves that people do this. I know you guys know about this in your prior experience where these people have these cliques, right? These circle of friends. And if one person in the group doesn't like somebody, the rest of them blindly follow. They have no independent reason for why they don't like the person. They just don't like them because you don't like them because that's your friend. I don't like that. People should have their own opinions. Even if somebody's your friend and your friend doesn't like somebody, have your own opinion. You could analyze that person separately and make your own judgment. But these people in this group, it looks like they didn't have that type of independence. They just follow Dejanay. And who knows if some of them, after they seen the aggression that Dejanay had and the violence that she did to Dejanay, some of them probably was scared to speak out, terrified. Like, I don't want her to do that to me. You never know. But still, they all wrong in my opinion. Even little lion self Nazir.
They have this thing planned. They don't have to come over from North Carolina to San Jose del Cabo. If they planned it in the living room, and went in there. This is a premeditated attack, just the way Gary Davidson is describing it.
Exactly what I was telling you guys. That's what I think. I don't think this was like a plan at home and then they flew there. No, I think that plan was formulated either in the morning or later on that night after Dejanay was getting angry at different scenarios of Shanquella shining at the light she was. You know, we saw the videos. Who was the loudest, most ambitious one in that room? Shanquella. She was making all those jokes, and Dejanay didn't like it because Dejanay was like, who does she think she is, calling me H.O. and making fun of me like that? She don't know me like that. We ain't cool like that. I may know of her, but we ain't cool like that. She probably was in there talking like that. How dare she disrespect me like that? And when people are jealous, they'll find any little reason to be jealous. They'll find any little reason to be mad, okay? Any little thing they'll pick on. So, like I said, you and I would have no issue with it. If you're confident, having fun, you got your friend out here having fun, being her best self, joking and stuff, you laugh with her. But that's not the type of person we're dealing with when it comes to Dejanay, in my opinion. This woman is very insecure. And anybody she thinks is better than her, looks better than her, has more than her, has more confidence. Not only that, but Shanquella was gorgeous and had style. Hair to the nine, looking fleek. Just come on. There was so much reasons for why this low self-esteem, weak-minded, low vibrational woman, Dejanay, and she is a woman, guys. She's not a man. I know she had a lot of force in that video, and she looked like she fought like a man because I have not seen a woman fight like that. I know a lot of people in my chat was like, yeah, women fight like that all the time. I haven't seen it in my lifetime. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. I've seen women fight, but dang, the kind of force that Dejanay used, or I'm trying to remember the name that Nancy called her. I'm gonna say my other name I call her. Dejanay used was way too much. Too much force. And we were asking, like, what was all that aggression for? It was built up over time. This was not some one little night of her irritation. She been hated Shanquella, been hated her. Way back in college. This didn't just happen over the night, but I feel the plan happened either that morning or that night. But I feel they sat and talked about it. That's what I feel the plan started. Or on the trip. When they're in that trip, that's why they were sitting in that little room. All them different scenarios when they were in those rooms and stuff, talking mess about Shanquella to a point where Dejanay was like, I'm going to go and beat her, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And then she was like, but y'all could come in here and watch. You gonna record because we gonna send this out to our friends and make a foolery out of her because she wanted that video recorded also because she was gonna go make a fool out of Shanquella when they got back home, talking about, look at it, she got beat up. Look. Just disgusting. That's how these sick people are. Sometimes you guys gotta be careful out here.
I agree it's premeditated. And Nancy, what's going to be interesting is to look at their texts that they sent each other, emails, other forms of electronic communication as they were planning this trip, as they were on the plane, as they were arriving at this resort. You know, you can premeditate something at an unconscious as well as a conscious level.
Okay, Dr. Bethany, you know I admire you greatly, but I'm talking about evidence that can come into court. What they were thinking about in the bathroom on the plane does not matter to me. What matters.
I'm done with Nancy. She just cut her off. It's like, I like you at all, but no. So, first and foremost, this little clique, the Cabo 6 little clique, you guys, that's going to be dismantled. Because whether or not they're charged, they're going to have no choice but to speak to authorities and have no choice but to give a statement. And if any of them little stank liars try to lie to law enforcement, they're going to get charged for that. Hands down. Now, there was some evidence that they allegedly did talk to law enforcement. We don't know if that's true, the Mexican authorities. I don't know how they handle that out in Mexico. But here in America, the law enforcement has already gone to their old addresses. So it appears as though they're already on the lookout for them to get statements from them. So they have no choice but to speak. Okay, period, because they were there. And if they try to lie, they're done. They're done. They're going to be charged with obstruction and all kinds of other stuff. And also, they're going to pull all those little phone records and text messages and videos and everything from their phones, whether or not they delete it. They can delete it all day long. Law enforcement can get all that information. So it's going to be a done deal. That little Cobble 6 is no longer Cobble 6. They're going to be all turned on each other, y'all. Every last one of them. And all that little pieces of evidence is going to be used to prosecute each of them for whatever pertinent crimes they committed in this case.
To me, it's what I can prove. But you're exactly right. I would look at every single text, email, communication between these people to find out if they wanted to gang up on her from the get-go when they all left to go to Mexico. And that's where you come in, Robert Crispin, about how we're going to get
and Nancy, the video.
Yes.
The video is another form of aggression. It didn't start just before the trip or on the plane or in their electronic communication. Someone videotaped that and then put it on the internet. You know why they put it on the internet? They wanted to further humiliate Quilla.
Showing her without her clothes.
Exactly. These experts, y'all, are on point. That's why I wanted to share this with you guys. This right here, Nancy Grace is the GOAT. Her and her experts, they're the GOAT. One thing that she pointed out is they recorded it to humiliate her. Why would they record this young lady while she is naked? There's no other explanation. They wanted to humiliate her. I don't think there was really an intent to murder this girl from the get-go. I think they wanted to beat her up. Dejanay, with her jealous stanky still, wanted to embarrass her. So they recorded it while this young lady was naked in the most vulnerable way. That's why they went and sent it off to their little friends back in North Carolina to embarrass this young lady so that Dejanay can regain her little low vibrational, non-existent confidence back to be like, look, I beat her up, look, while she was naked. Just insecure. Disgusting.
Is on being attacked. I want you to hear in our cut 10, our friends at WSOC, our cut 10, please, Jackie.
Salamandra says she came across this video. Salamandra identified the people in the video as Shanquella and her Cabo travel partners. You can hear someone in the video ask if Quella could at least fight back.
There wasn't no fight. They attacked her. It was never a fight. She didn't fight. They attacked her.
Now, Salamandra says she has more questions than answers. She wants justice for her daughter.
She was a good child and had a great heart. And she did not deserve to be treated like that.
And now baked with the equivalent of 1 cup of veggies per loaf, fortified with vitamins A, D. Nancy Grace here. Have you ever wondered what if you had insights from the bit? You will hear myself and 22 other podcasters discuss.
She had died because
Miss Robinson.
Online, someone sent the video to us online.
Someone sent it to you?
Yes. When the video probably was, I believe the video was out before Shanquella actually had died, because someone called me and told me before they even arrived back to Charlotte from North Carolina.
Exactly, guys. Exactly. They sent that video out before Shanquella was even dead because they wanted to embarrass this girl. While the fight was going on, they was already sending that video out. Some people would say that there was FaceTiming people during the fight. No, that looked like, if you go back and watch that little video part where you can see the what's on the recording, it looks like somebody else is recording it on the phone. They sent it out that very immediately thereafter. They was already sending that thing out to people. Just disgusting, because they was trying to embarrass this girl.
That they was over there fighting her, so I didn't know how true it was. So after she got back, they got back, Shanquella had passed. The video had surfaced on Facebook, and someone sent it to my family. It started coming out. The video started coming out.
That is a really big deal. Alexis Tereszcuk joining me, crimeonline.com investigative reporter.
Did you guys hear that? So somebody who Malik or one of them little stank Cabo sickos sent it out to some friends in North Carolina. They posted it on Facebook, allegedly. was trying to embarrass this girl, posted it on Facebook. This was all before allegedly she was already determined to be deceased. Disgusting.
Alexis, is that correct? And I'm going to follow up with you, Crispin, about how I can prove it's correct. I can't just blurt it out it's correct without knowing. Alexis, is it possible these girlfriends post the video of Quella completely naked being beaten to her death in the bedroom before she's even pronounced dead?
Yes, and that's what the timestamps and the information that has shown up on different websites and where the video has been seen shows that it was
did you guys hear that? Yes.
It was not a live broadcast, but really in real time happening. It didn't show up weeks later. It showed up almost immediately.
How can I prove that, Robert Crispin?
So this is one of the reasons that the
Did you guys hear that? That expert said that they more than likely, allegedly, I say allegedly, posted that online on Facebook before Shanquella was dying, as like in live time. They were trying to humiliate and take the very pride. What kind of person hates someone that much, to that gravity, to record someone naked getting beat to death? Someone who is jealous, in my opinion. So jealous, felt so intimidated by this woman who was high on life, who outshined them, that they were trying to bring her down to their low vibrational level. Disgusting. That's why I told y'all this Nancy Grace recording needed to be discussed today, because too many bombshells was dropped by the GOAT herself. Love this woman. She always gets to the nitty gritty, that knows what she's doing, and bringing the experts on. This is wow. I knew in my opinion. My opinion was that I thought they had already been sending this video to friends in North Carolina while, right after the fight, or even during the fight. I thought, they're sending it to the friends. But I didn't think that they were posting it on Facebook by then. But from what I'm hearing also, this is kind of confirming what I was hearing from some of the rumors about the friends. They already, like some of the friends in the group that knew Shanquella and everybody, was already talking about the video on Facebook already. And they were like, did you see this video of Shanquella? Da-da-da-da-da. And they were going and telling the sister about it. That's how the sister knew already, before, Shanquella was even deceased. So these experts are pretty much confirming the rumors that I heard. It's like, wow.
FBI is involved now, because they have a unit called the extraterritorial unit for crimes when you get a request from foreign governments to help them investigate cases for crimes against U.S. citizens, which I'm sure you're very well aware of that. How we're going to prove this? Social media, it's all digital. And through subpoenas, we're going to get IP addresses. We're going to get who owns the phone that sent that. We're going to get the accounts. We're going to get.
Guys, I just thought of something. This is probably why they deleted their social media. What if they were on live as the fight was going, on live on their Facebook or Instagram? And this is just an opinion. This is making sense as this expert talks. They could have been on live, guys, on their platforms, recording this thing on a Facebook or Instagram live. It makes sense now why they deleted all that social media. Now, of course, attorneys could have told them to delete it too. But think about it, if this criminal recorded a crime before they knew, hindsight 2020, before they knew this girl was going to die, they wanted to humiliate her. So their little stank, so many people are so big on social media, stank self, went on their little Facebook lives and could have put that on live as it was happening. And then you got people in North Carolina, because there were people in North Carolina who knew about this fight because they saw the recording and they told the sister about it. Quilla, the sister. They told Miss Long about it way before they even got back to North Carolina, because that sister, Shanquella's sister, was asking them about that because she already knew, because people online were talking about it. So I'm thinking, this is my new theory. What if they were on their social media lives recording it too? Talking about look at her, look at Shanquella getting beat up. Jealousy. This is sounding like jealousy, and it's making sense because now, even if they deleted their little Facebook, think they're gonna get away with it, and their little Instagram, all the authorities can subpoena all of that. They're going to subpoena all of the social medias that they have. It doesn't matter if you delete it; they just can go to the actual providers, subpoena all that evidence, plus pull all their little phone records. They're done. They're done. It's a done deal for them. And they're going to have no choice but to speak to law enforcement. So even if they try to claim a little excuse, I wasn't a part of it. Oh, but you still have to talk, sweetie. So that little Cobble 6 is no longer, y'all. It's going to be totally dismantled. But that's a thought to think about. What if they were recording it, or even if they didn't record it while they're on live, they just posted it on their Facebook? That's why they probably were, or their Instagram. That's probably why they were deleting that stuff. Interesting theory that I have in mind. And allegedly.
As to what truly did happen. The real mystery, I think, in all of this at the moment is what was the motivation for this attack?
Now, you know, the state does not have to prove motive, right?
True.
It's a bunch of mean girls turned 25 going on some kind of a vendetta.
Yes,
I'll tell you what, it'll be a cold day in hell before I go on a girls' weekend. Go ahead, Gary.
But at the end of the day, I do believe the truth is going to come.
I'm done with Nancy, y'all. I'm so done. She said it'll be a cold day before I go on a weekend with some women. Me either. I'm done. Don't ask me to go on any trips with nobody. I'm just saying, don't ask. Don't ask. Not today. But Nancy Grace said it. I'm so done, guys.
Come out in this case well before there's ever a trial. And there may very well be a trial of all of the people who were present.
Oh, no, they all need to go to trial. I don't need them as witnesses when I've got this video. And don't you know, Gary Davison, if they're stupid enough to post the video, then they have been exchanging emails and texts and snaps.
And I just thought about that. If they posted it on their social media before, sending it back, posting it online, that could be another crime they can get them for displaying obscenity and stuff like this. The woman, her being naked online, that's another separate crime, posting that online. So if they did, and if they pull those records, they're done.
All this time, I cannot wait to get my hands on all their communications post-murder. Miss Robinson with me is Quella's mom, Salamandra Robinson, who is summoning up the strength to talk about this. She is deep, deep in mourning. And when we first started talking off camera, she said it made her sick to her stomach. And when I look at this video, I thought I was going to get sick to my stomach just watching it, much less it being her little girl. I understand that you Zoomed with her on Friday, the day before she was killed, and she was upbeat, was having a good time the day before, right? Did she discuss any tensions with the other women?
No, I talked with Shanquella and I watched her Instagram. She spoke and she seemed to be very happy, sound like Shanquella normally sounds. And, like I said, I told her, enjoy yourself. She said she was getting ready to eat. The chef was cooking some tacos. I said, well, enjoy yourself. I will talk to you tomorrow. And love you. And I never spoke with her again.
And what about the people standing by and watching? Take a listen to our cut 11. This is our friend Matt Revers at GMA.
Now, the mother says that Shanquella never told her about any tension going on. I'm going to give my opinion. Given the background, the information we know about Shanquella was trying to find the best out of this whole situation. I don't think she would have told her mom. I think she would have just tried to just be positive. And number two, we don't know who was around when she was talking to her mom, y'all. That's another key thing. Was Khalil around? Were there other people around? Do you think if people around here and overhearing the conversation, she's going to tell what's really going on? No, she's going to make it look like it's okay. And number three, she doesn't want her mom to worry. She's all the way thousands of miles away in Cabo. And if she tells her mom that she feels something's off about the whole situation, she knows her mom is going to be worried. And sometimes kids don't want their parents to overreact. They're like, oh, Lord, I better not say anything because my mom's going to overreact. I think Shanquella was like, oh, I'm good. Even if these girls are acting weird around me, in the back of her mind, she's like, I'm good because Khalil's here. He'll take care of me. He's good. But it's so sad she didn't realize she had a Judas next to her. Guys, a lot of you don't realize some of the people that smile in your face are really Judas. Fake. Fake. And it's sad that Shanquella thought that she was cool because she had him there. And she wanted to be nice to these people because she loved Khalil. And usually when you love somebody and you know that somebody has good friends, you want to be nice to those friends, because if you care about what the person you care about, then you're going to care about whoever they care about. So if these are his close friends, which we've seen pictures and evidence of it, that he's known them since 2012, and he only met Shanquella in 2014. So he had a longer history with those other Cabo 6. And what's to say he didn't know them before 2012? We only found an earlier picture back in 2012, but they could have known each other way before that. Okay. So given that, you know, Shanquella knows that these group of individuals is really close with Khalil. She loves Khalil. So she's going to try to cater and be nice to these people, which is what she tried to do the whole trip. Was trying to joke with them, trying to have fun, because she knew something was off. Like, they're all in another room. The girls don't even want to sit next to her. You can't tell me something wasn't wrong on that dinner table. Something was off. Completely off. But Shanquella, number one, doesn't want to worry her mom. This is my opinion, y'all. Doesn't want to worry her mom. I really think she picked it up because there's no way she couldn't have not seen that, given the fact that she talked about 2 years straight on her Facebook about jealous people, jealous energy. Shanquella already knew. But she chose to just try to, bury it in the back of her head, try to make the best of things. There is a lot of opinions from the mother and the sister saying that that's kind of how Shanquella is. She's very positive, tries to make the best of things, always looking in the positive, very bubbly type personality, outshines people in the room. Yes. We could see that in the videos. So she thought, well, if I keep being my spunky self, I'll be able to liven the situation up, even though there's some weird stuff going on. Doesn't want to worry her mother. Who knows if Khalil wasn't around when she's on her phone with her mom? She's not going to say anything around them. Okay. And she doesn't want her mom to worry. Definitely. I know I've been there when, things may not be going well, but sometimes you don't tell your parents because you don't want them to you think your parents are going to overreact. Like, oh Lord, if I tell my mom something or my dad, they're going to overreact and I don't want to hear it. So they just don't say anything. But I honestly feel, based upon just looking at Shanquella's social media and combining that with the videos that we have seen, Shanquella already knew. Those girls kept rejecting that poor girl the whole October 28th. She knew, but she was trying to be positive and be respectful because these are Khalil's friends. And, she wanted to be respectful of someone that people that he cares about. So let's get the rest of this, guys. Sorry, I told you I was going to interrupt.
Shanquella's mom, Salamandra Robinson, who is summoning up the strength to talk about this. She is deep in mourning. And when we first started talking off camera, she said it made her sick to her stomach. And when I look at this video, I thought I was going to get sick to my stomach just watching it, much less it being her little girl. I understand that you Zoomed with her on Friday, the day before she was killed, and she was upbeat, was having a good time the day before, right? Did she discuss any tensions with the other women?
No, I talked with Shanquella and I watched her Instagram. She spoke and she seemed to be very happy, sound like Shanquella normally sounds. And, like I said, I told her, enjoy yourself. She said she was getting ready to eat. The chef was cooking some tacos. I said, well, enjoy yourself. I will talk to you tomorrow. And love you. And I never spoke with her again.
And what about the people standing by and watching? Take a listen to our cut 11. This is our friend Matt Revers at GMA.
We got our first dead body.
A new video surfacing showing Shanquella resting in a hammock at some point before the trip turned deadly.
Buddy.
I heard some stuff, a dead body, dead.
Now, some people online disagree with my analysis of that first dead body thing that, oh, people say that. Okay, number one, I know that people will say, oh, she looked drunk or she's out of it or blah, blah, blah. But never have I heard, I'm speaking from my own experience. You guys can speak from yours. I haven't heard anybody describe someone as first dead body, number one. Number two, Shanquella doesn't drink a lot like that. She wasn't drunk in that video, in my opinion. She had not been drunk in that video where she was sleeping. She was taking a nap. So there is no evidence whatsoever. We even saw her when she did wake up and get tacos. She was not drunk in any way. So then why would he describe her as being a dead body if she's not drunk? Again, so it doesn't fit the circumstances. It doesn't. So the excuse of, oh, he's just using that because that's what young people use now when someone's drunk or wasted. But that's not the facts here, in our opinion. The girl wasn't drunk. You can tell because if she was, she would have been slurring her words at the dinner table. And that's not what happened. When they were at the taco bar, because she slept earlier, then about 8:45, she takes a nap. Or I don't know the time frame. I forgot the time frame. But I think it's about 8:45. She takes a quick nap. Then they have the taco bar. And she gets back up and she's recording them drinking. And she's like, drank. Her voice was not slurred in whatsoever in that video. And then she's like, we're in this big house. She sounds completely sober to me, completely sober. She talked to her mother before she went to the taco bar. Mother never mentioned that her daughter was sounding intoxicated, period. So with that being said, why would he say first dead body if she's not drunk? It doesn't fit the circumstances. We can't excuse it if it doesn't fit the situation. Why would he use those words? It doesn't fit. She's not drunk, in my opinion. So again, the words are too cryptic to me, and I have a right to have my opinion because I heard some people online saying, no, people just use those words. Yeah, I've never heard it, first of all. I've heard people say somebody's wasted or they're out of it, stuff like that. But even if this is the new terminology these people are using, which I've never heard of it, I've never heard it. But even if they are using those type of weird ways to describe somebody who's drunk, Shanquella wasn't drunk. We don't have any information showing she was drunk. The mom talked to her that day before she goes to the taco bar. She sounds fine. Mom doesn't mention anything about her being intoxicated. We saw her social media live. We heard her voice. She didn't have slurred speech. She didn't sound drunk. So where is he getting first dead body from? Very cryptic, very sick. I don't care what anybody says. That's my opinion about it. It sounds like somebody who, in my opinion, had a plan. They were talking about this girl that day. They were in the room all by themselves without Shanquella. Shanquella was the only person that was not in that room. Dejanay was talking all kind of mess about Shanquella. She couldn't stand Shanquella. Khalil knew that because he's in that little group. I told you he's a little double-minded person, in my opinion. This is all my opinion again, y'all. Opinion. I think he knew. I think he was in there with the rest of the group talking mess about Shanquella and then going back out smiling in Shanquella's face, which is why he was like, I think we got our first dead body. Yeah. Because probably Dejanay was talking about she wanted to beat her up. I want to beat her up. Because she always trying to outshine somebody. How dare her come up in our room talking about getting naked? Nobody want to go skinny dipping with you. I'm not cool with you like that. And I don't know what she was saying, guys. I'm just trying to figure out just examples. I don't know what the heck the girl was saying. But she sure was venting in there with her little stank attitude. You could just go back and watch the videos, guys, and really look at the body language. We had Winter Donovan sitting on the bed on her phone, looking suspicious, looking up at Shanquella and looking back at Dejanay to see Dejanay's response. That is a key clue right there. Looking at Dejanay to see Dejanay's response. People's body language screams all day long of what they were doing in there. She was looking at Dejanay because she knew Dejanay didn't like her, so like Shanquella. So she was looking to see how Dejanay was going to react when Shanquella got in the room, was talking about, it'll take you that long to get naked. So she looks at both of them, looks back at Dejanay to see what Dejanay is going to do because Dejanay already was talking bad about her. Exactly. You could just look at the videos. It's right there, y'all. Let's go back. Sorry. This story makes me so irate. Oh my gosh.
Since all of this happened?
Yeah, he came to the house 4 days in a row until he found out we knew what the autopsy said.
And you haven't seen him since?
Haven't seen him since.
So let me understand this, Mrs. Robinson. The friend, Kalia Cook, comes to your house several times after they get home from their vacation. But as soon as the true cause of death comes out, this dislocation, the atlas luxation of the spinal cord, then he suddenly quits showing up. And I bet you haven't heard from any of them ever since you learned the true cause of death, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Because you know they're all lying.
Yes.
And they know that you know. What I don't understand is why the case is not moving forward. What's going on with the Mexican authorities?
Dang, I don't know if I haven't heard this, but maybe you guys heard it. But Salamandra said he came 4 days. I didn't hear all the amount of days in the prior interviews. I may have just overlooked it. But he was there 4 days. You know what that sound like to me? That sound like to me like he was trying to brainwash this woman. Trying to really, really convince her because he knew he had an influence on her. He knew he'd gone on all these trips, faking, pretend to be a fake friend. And he knew he had all this influence, which is why Dejanay and all them was like, you need to go talk to her. You need to go talk to her because she'll listen to you. Go over there and talk to her and make her think it's alcohol poisoning. We're all in this together. If you don't tell her, then you're going to be in trouble too. Because 4 days in a row he was there, it sounds like this is somebody on a mission, doesn't it? Why you got to come so many days? Sitting there eating and looking at her face, bringing multiple people over there to try to convince this woman of a lie. It sounded as though he was trying to convince her not to look into the situation. Oh, don't worry about an autopsy. Believe me. Believe me, I'm the best friend. Don't worry, you don't got to look into it. Just bury her. She was drank too much. He was using his little cunning, sick, deceptive, sly self to try to deceive this woman to get her not to look into the case. That's what I think. And I'm glad this woman had intuition to be like, no, something ain't right. Something ain't right. I'm going to wait until this autopsy. I don't care what you're saying, because 4 days in a row, that's dedication. Dedication, y'all. And all of a sudden, when he got found out, he's gone. Guilt, consciousness of guilt, right there. He told on himself. He told on himself. As soon as he stopped coming over there, he told on himself that he was guilty and he was found out. But I like this next part because Nancy Grace is going to go into why it's taking too long.
Authorities, take a listen to our cut 14, our friends at WSOC.
Investigators in Mexico now say they believe that Robinson was killed. It's significant because her parents said that they were originally told that she died of alcohol poisoning.
So if they know she was killed, she was murdered, what's the holdup, Gary Davidson?
The holdup is extradition. Extradition is a process where individuals are summoned through official channels between governments to return to the place where they are alleged to have committed a crime. And in this case, the Mexican government is seeking extradition of the individual who is accused of actually undertaking the attack on the victim. So there's a process, a court process that has to be followed by the United States government, and ultimately there is a treaty between the United States and Mexico.
Gary, I've done extraditions. It's really easy. It's not a long process. We in the U.S. have to arrest these POCs, these so-called friends on a girl's getaway. We got to arrest them. We take them to court. And there's just a couple of questions. You get their fingerprint and you say, are you Gary Davidson? And if the person says yes, it's all over because you have a signed governor's warrant from Mexico. And all you need to do, you don't have to establish guilt or innocence. All they have to do is establish, are you Gary Davidson? And if you tell me no under oath, I compare your fingerprints, I see that it's you, and bye-bye. you got a chain on your hands and you're on the way to Mexico. That's all there is. It's not a fact-finding investigation in court. It's very simply, are you Gary Davidson? That's all I want to know. That's all an extradition is. Then you send the person to the venue, the jurisdiction, to be tried. Isn't that right?
In most instances, that is correct. Of course, we're assuming that the U.S. government has been able to locate the individual that they're seeking, which is, not something you can always assume.
Gary, they're all over Facebook. How hard can it be?
One would think by now it would have been accomplished, but I'm not behind the scenes, so I can't answer beyond that.
Miss Robinson, he's right. Gary Davidson is correct. Miss Robinson, what are they telling you?
Well, they're not telling me anything. They're not even telling me whose name is on the arrest warrant that they have. But we know there's a warrant out there, and we're hoping that they relocate them real soon.
And I hear what Nancy Grace is saying, but I don't agree with her. It does take time because, number one, they're going to submit that to the Department of Justice. Sorry, the Department of Justice. Then the Department of Justice sends a complaint to the magistrate, who then issues the warrant. Now, my problem is why is it taking so long for them to arrest this girl? She must be on the run, y'all. She's hiding. People say she fled to Connecticut. I don't think they can find this girl because we have seen, and I did a video on this, where journalists are looking for these people also, and also law enforcement is also, because they're putting business cards on their old addresses. These people are in hiding. That's one thing I think of. They're looking for this girl. They probably haven't even served her the warrant yet. That's what I think. Because I'm like, why is it taking so long? And shouldn't it be easy for them to find them? They probably got rid of them phones because the phone numbers don't even work anymore. They're on the run. They're not trying to turn themselves in. Because I'm like, that's the number one thing. They got to get her arrested first, then get her into a court to have that limited hearing. And then after the limited hearing and the judge looks at the evidence, then the judge decides, okay, it's enough to prosecute this girl. She did commit a crime. Then they send that off to the Secretary of State. And then I'm wondering too, there's another question is the feds wondering whether they want to prosecute it here? That could be another question they're trying to figure out. Are they going to prosecute it here? Is it in the best interest to just keep the case here? Or they're going to go ahead and just send her back on down the line to Mexico? I still think, I get what Nancy Grace is saying, but there's other things at play in this case for why they're probably, but my thing is, I think they fled, guys. I think they having a problem finding these people because I've seen a lot of different reports out there where the sheriff's office and police officers are leaving all these business cards on their old addresses, and they can't find these people. I really don't think they found them yet. It should be easy to track them down, just, using their phones and relatives. That's another thing. It should be easy to just find these people, right? Just go to their families' houses. Go to Connecticut where they have close ties. That's another thing I'm asking. Have they gone to those areas where they have family members that they have close ties? Because they can't be that far. Come on now. This girl don't have that much money. Clearly she's not doing too well in life with her little jealous self. I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat. Just make it make sense.
The arrest warrant that they have. But we know there's a warrant out there, and we're hoping that they relocate them real soon. We haven't heard anymore.
Do you know where these girls are?
No, I have no idea.
Well, they went to college with her. They could afford a Mexican vacation. They had to have a passport. We've got to know where they live.
They stopped the passport. They know where each one of them live. All of them is somewhere hiding. None of them is at the address that's on their passports. None of them there.
Bam, this is what I'm telling you guys. This is why you guys can tell when the news is fake. If the parents don't know, it's fake. They always are the first to know. And you have a key information this mother knows. She said they stopped the passports. Those passports are no longer valid. They're done. Can't use those anymore. How does she know that? Because they told her that. If she doesn't know about an arrest, there's no arrest. Okay, they're going to tell her. Unless it compromises the case, they won't tell her. But most of the time, they're going to let her know because she's the victim. And then she also says that they're hiding. They all moved out, fled. Even the parents gone. These little shady parents That's the sad part about this, guys, is it's shedding light on the parents. A lot of people say, don't talk about the parents, but the parents aren't doing anything to have their kids be held accountable. They're hiding their kids just as much. And also, people from Dejanay's camp is over here talking to reporters, lying, talking about, well, who knows, guys, there may be another tape, but claiming there's another tape. Some people out there saying they saw the tape. I don't know about the tape, so I'm not going to go with another tape until we see some confirmation. But there was some people in my chat talking about they saw this other tape with Winter. I don't know if that's true, but somebody from Dejanay's camp is surely trying to say that narrative that there's another tape. Either way, guys, Dejanay is just as much responsible for this girl's death. You can see it on the video. It's on the video. I still keep on my theory that I think poor Shanquella was neck and back was broke during that video, because it looked like her neck was just slumped over at the end of the video after her neck was swung around like that. And whoever heard of someone taking someone by the neck and swinging them or twisting them around and slamming them? I haven't seen anybody do that. That is pretty intense what Dejanay did. I need to stop saying her name right. Diogenes did. Sorry, I forgot to say her name incorrectly. Diogenes did.
Tell you what, I can't wait for a jury to hear about how they hid under the bed at mommy's house while cops are trying to find them more evidence of guilt. Tip line 888-407-4747. Repeat, 888-40. To the video. So, okay, you heard Gary Davidson. U.S. Marshals, it's time for you to do what you do best.
The people.
Tip line 888-407-4747. Repeat, 888-407-4747. At this point, Gary Davidson, wouldn't you say it's on the U.S. Marshal in the jurisdiction of North Carolina to find them?
Yes, indeed, and they have resources, obviously, to bring to bear with the FBI if, in fact, these individuals have fled from North Carolina. They will be caught. They don't sound like the type of people who have unlimited funds.
They're not criminal masterminds either, Gary.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys, but I hear from other individuals is that they come from very humble beginnings. These are not individuals that have wealthy families like that. So they can't hide out for too long.
They're the ones that posted the video. So, okay, you heard Gary Davidson.
They will be caught. They don't sound like the type of people who have unlimited funds.
They're not criminal masterminds either, Gary. They're the ones that posted the video. So, okay, you heard Gary Davidson. U.S. Marshals, it's time for you to do what you do best and bring these people to extradition to Mexico.
Yeah, guys, that's another thing. It's like they're dumb. This is a whole issue of clout chasing. These people out here clout chasing, recording a crime, and then plastering it all online for clout, and ended up incriminating their own self. Just complete stupidity. But I'm glad for the clout chasing era, because but for that, I guarantee there probably would have been no resolution of this case. If there was no video, even though there was evidence of a broken back and neck, I'm telling you, they would have never prosecuted this. So I am so grateful for clout chasing. Thank God for clout chasing and social media. Thank you, Lord, because that tape is really what broke this whole case open. Even though I'm telling you, even though with the broken neck and broken back, I think the Mexican authorities would have kept this same excuse up, talking about, oh no, alcohol poisoning, because there would have been no way to prove otherwise. They could have like, oh, well, she was drunk, she fell. You know, they could have made up anything, but I'm so grateful, guys, for clout. Had it not been for clout and these little stank, evil, demonic, fake individuals, demonic people, I'm telling you this story. Yes, I like going over this story because somebody in here saying you're obsessed with this case. No, I'm not obsessed with it. I care about the case. Okay. And when I care about something, I'm going to analyze it to the core because it means a lot to me. And this one does, because like I said in other videos, it could have been any of us. And I can identify with this one because I've had some fake friends. Now, I wanted to go over this video with this nurse because I feel like she really broke down what possibly Shanquella could have been going through during her last moments. And I thought it was pretty pivotal. So I'm going to play it for you because I thought it was pretty significant.
Because you can see Dejanay twisted her neck and threw her. Dejanay was hitting her continuously. I think after that incident, after she got her injuries a couple minutes later, that she could have died.
I have 30 years of nursing experience. The reason I'm saying this is because I spent a lot of years working with spinal cord injury patients. And depending on how high the injury to your spinal cord is, if you can breathe or not. So you're not gasping for air, your lungs are, you're not moving. So I used to work with patients on ventilators, and occasionally it would pop off if they have a stab.
So let's just stop and read this first. But this lady right here has 30 years of experience. I want you guys to really listen to her because I feel like she really does a great description of what Shanquella could have possibly gone through. But let's read this first. It says, what level of spinal cord injury impairs breathing? Can y'all hear me? Okay. Impairs breathing. A patient with a complete injury above C5 will typically have impaired diaphragm function and is likely to require a period of endotracheal intubation and mechanical ventilation. A C5 injury level may also involve diaphragm weakness, but is more likely to be associated with the ability to breathe independently. Oh my gosh. Shanquella more than likely could not breathe when her neck was snapped like that. That is horrific.
Right, the ventilator will pop out. Their body is not going to move because they need the ventilator to move. If you have,
want to read this too, y'all. So let's just read it. Spinal cord injury often leads to an impairment of the respiratory system. The more rostral the level of injury, the more likely the injury will affect ventilation. In fact, respiratory insufficiency is the #1 cause of mortality and morbidity after SCI. Poor Shanquella, if this is the case. This poor young lady died a horrific death. Imagine being slammed like that and not being able to breathe, but yet you're dying and you can't speak or tell anybody. That is horrific. And you're hearing this woman yelling at you as you're dying and you can't breathe. And no one's helping. Oh my poor God. Oh Lord.
have an injury up here, you're not breathing. When she fell, if you look at the video, you can see when the back was broken because it's a certain way a paralyzed body can lay. If your body is not paralyzed, in certain positions you just can't naturally go in. When she first was slung over and she sat up like that, that was just, her neck was broke at that time. She's able to look, she can still think and everything, but she's not able to make any sound. So she saw them and heard them talking to her like that, and she was helpless until she blacked out because without oxygen, you're done.
Later on that day, the workers,
their body is not going to move because
man, what she said was so powerful that I had to play it again, guys. But sorry, I'm about to read this because that was jaw-dropping when she said that. Whoa. Not being able to breathe, not being able to talk, but you can literally hear and see this demon before you saying names to you. You can't do anything. You're helpless. As you're dying, rest Shanquella's soul. I really hope these authorities throw the book at these people. I pray they don't give her any form of leniency. They need to suffer the way this poor, helpless young lady suffered. This is unacceptable what they did to her. But let's read it. This spinal cord injury often leads to an impairment of the respiratory. We already read this one. Sorry, guys. It's the next one we didn't read.
They need the ventilator to move. If you have an injury up here, you're not breathing. When she fell, if you look at the video, you can see when the back was broken because it's a certain way a paralyzed body can lay. If your body is not paralyzed in certain positions, you just can't naturally go in. When he first was slung over and she sat up like that, that was.
So let's read that, guys. It says clinical signs of axial luxation may include neck pain, abnormal head positions, head tilt, holding the head down, wobbliness of all four legs, weakness of all four legs, inability to stand, or inability to move the legs. Wow, head tilt. Her head was tilt in that video. Holding the head down. We saw that in the video. Go back and watch the video. I'm not playing on my platform. Oh, no. But her head was tilt at the very end of that video. So she may have felt neck pain at that time. And we saw the head tilt, head down. That was this is the clinical signs of that. Atlantoaxial luxation. I cannot say those medical terms, y'all. Don't judge me in the chat. Please do not. I'm not a doctor. Not a doctor, okay. Wobbliness of the four legs, weakness of all four legs, inability to stand, or inability to move the legs. This sounds exactly what we saw in the video, guys. People are ignoring that because of that distraction of the other video. This girl has already had her injuries in the video. She already had her neck broke by then. Go back and watch the video again and really look at it. You will see where the injury occurred.
Was just her neck was broke at that time. She's able to look, she can still think and everything, but she's not able to make any sound. So she saw them and heard them talking to her like that, and she was helpless until she blacked out because without oxygen, you're done.
Later on.
Dang, guys, that is so sad when you hear that. When I had to share that because that nurse, I feel like she described the last moments of Shanquella's life, in my opinion. That had to have been the most gruesome, horrific, helpless way to die. My gosh, poor Shanquella. May she rest in peace. This is so sad. Oh my God. Oh, I'm speechless, guys. It just makes me want to just cry. Woo! She did not deserve this, man. Did not. Speak Vision said she was probably not able to stand after she was slung to the ground. I pray she didn't suffer long. Man, I pray she didn't either, because based on the death certificate, they said it would have to been 15 minutes after the injury. 15 minutes is too long to suffer. That's way too long. I hope it wasn't 15 minutes. Man, this is sad, you guys. So awful. Sending all the love to Shanquella's spirit and best possible outcome for the family and healing justice. Hey, Ellen, I'm so happy to see you. Love you, girl. Gosh, guys, 15 minutes. You think so? Really? Sorry, I can't say her name right. Mamaj? 15 minutes, you think so? I pray it was. I hope they weren't right. I hope they were mistaken. I hope man, I don't want her to, like you were saying, she did sad and slow death. No, please don't say that. Don't say that. I just hope they got it wrong and it was like very quick, man. This poor girl, because she had to hear, like that nurse said, you can hear. She has 30 years of experience with spinal cord injuries. This woman has experience. So I find her to be to be a reliable source, in my opinion, based on her experience and with spinal cord injuries in particular. And she said, guys, that Shanquella could hear everything going on in that room, but she couldn't move. Oh my gosh. That means she saw Dejanay's demonic, ugly face yelling and talking about, I'm tired of you, and couldn't do anything. Didn't deserve this. Did not. That much anger and jealousy because you ugly, Dejanay. That's not Shanquella's fault that you ugly. Talk to your parents about that. That's not Shanquella's fault. For you to torture this girl because of your own insecurities. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying that is messed up what she did. She tortured this young girl, and I hope the justice system tortures her. Just saying. No mercy, period. I agree with Starry Night. No mercy. They better not give her any mercy because I'm going to be real irritated. Oh, let's hear what Hannah said. I think Hannah had a spinal cord injury. She said, y'all, I couldn't move or talk, but I could hear the nurse in the helicopter saying I was going to die. What? Hannah, you went through that? Wait, did I miss Hannah's? So Hannah, did you have a spinal cord injury? Could you feel the pain in it? I hope you didn't feel anything because I don't want Shanquella to have felt that. Oh, God. I want to see what Hannah said. I missed Hannah's statement because I think Hannah has gone through this. She was decapitated on the inside, you guys. She was decapitated. That's how violent. That video showed the violence that woman had. This is horrific. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Elizabeth said I was right about the 8:45. She said, yeah, the timestamp was 8:45 on the video with her in the hammock. Okay, so because we got to get the timeline straight because you already know all these different variations of the timeline. I'm in complete tears right now. I know exactly what she went through. Oh no, Hannah B knows. So Hannah B, you had an injury like this before, and you said, she said, I could hear the nurse in the back of the helicopter saying I was going to die. So we have an actual person in our chat who has had a similar injury. She felt this in her car accident that almost killed her. And she's confirming what this nurse is saying, that she could hear. But you're saying you couldn't move or anything? Wow, like suffocating. Oh my God. So it's like, it was as if Shanquella was suffocating. Oh my God, this is so sad. You guys, this story should warn all of you that you're watching this. This is a wake-up call. I do not believe this was a sacrifice. I'm tired of people making up these little conspiracy theories, but this is a wake-up call. That's what I can say this is. Wake up and look at your circle. Not everybody in that circle really has your back. You cannot trust everybody who says they are your friend. Be very careful about going on trips with these people. It's not that you just become a hermit, but be careful. This young lady, this happened to her because of her big, beautiful heart. She just couldn't help but to love people, even those that didn't love her. The Bible says in Psalms 118:8, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put trust in man. That is from the Bible, y'all. From the Bible. God already knew people were shady. That's why he tried to warn us. He tried to warn us right here. He said, Micah 7:5, trust ye not in a friend. What? Trust ye not in a friend. He used the word friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Meaning those people that you think you love, that's close to you, you can't put confidence in them. He said it because he already knew how shady people are. He got so many scriptures on this. He said, Psalms 18:9, it's better to trust in the Lord than put trust in princes, but he means man. Sometimes he uses different languages. Jeremiah 17:5, thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. Cursed beeth the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, whose heart departed from the Lord. So it's like as if you trust in man, you're departing from your source, in my opinion, which is God. I'm just going to say, when you trust in these people out here, you will be very disappointed. In no way, shape, or form, this was Shanquella's fault. She had an incredibly beautiful heart. She just had a lot of demons around her that were low lives and jealous. Poor, 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 poor soul. And like Pink, let's read this real quick, but Pink had a good point too. Pink Dot, very good point. But Speak Vision says the Bible is fulfilling itself. People are cold-hearted, have no love for others. They are lovers of themselves. Please stay prayerful and be careful. This is so true. People are lovers of themselves. You'll be very surprised if you watch these crimes, and like if you are like a person that looks at a lot of crime cases and stuff, you really start to see how people truly are. At the end of the day, they don't care about anyone but themselves. You can even see in this whole situation, even the parents are shady, only caring about their family member. They don't care that a life was taken. They don't care. They're selfish. Pink Dot Av says, I like what Pink Dot Av said is that get your own stay or hotel. Yes, this is an emphasis. I cannot emphasize this enough. 2 things we should learn when we go, if you ever decide to go on trips with friends. I don't think you should, but if you do, live your life. Get your own hotel and do not get drunk, period. Be careful with your drinking. Be careful. I just did a story on this about a beautiful, beautiful young man. He was only 26 years old. Just a sweet soul. You can just tell that he was. Real estate agent. Went out, thought he could trust his friends, got drunk, and they abandoned him, took his car and left him to die, basically. Wandered off and drowned. You cannot trust people. Get your own stay and do not get drunk in public with friends because those people are fake. They're not going to look out for you when you're left there vulnerable. You just never know. Even if you think you can trust. The Bible, God does not put things in the Bible unless it means something. I know because I read that Bible front and back, and I'm telling you, it has some nuggets in there about life. And what I've noticed about the Bible is he doesn't put everything that he puts in the Bible is to help you. The commandments, all of it is to help you. Because if you think about it, if you don't follow the things in the Bible, you start realizing the consequences that you experience in your life. I'm telling you, I know because I've experienced it, just saying. But, I always got to bring that up because that's just a part of my life. So I know a lot of people, I respect everybody else's beliefs also. I'm just giving my own opinion, okay? So don't get offended if you don't believe in the Bible. I'm just giving my own opinion, okay, loves? But yes, I agree with Elisa. Elisa said it right here. She said his word is forever and established. It is. Every time I listen to these tragedies and I hear about them and I read about them, it's just like, man, the Bible is just so evident when I read about them. But one thing I can tell you is Shanquella was a woman of God. She was raised in the church. Her daddy kept her in the church. She was a beautiful soul. She loved like no other. And sadly, because of her in beautiful heart, it made her susceptible to demons because she was so merciful to these people that were not merciful to her. And like Crystal says, I could not have said it better. Crystal says, always, if your gut is telling you something, do it. It's true. Your gut will tell you, you'll feel something off, like something doesn't feel right. Listen to that. Listen, because it's warning you. Your intuition's warning you. Speak Vision says, I think they purposely didn't stay at a hotel so that no one else would be able to hear her. The Bible is to protect us. God loves us so much. We just have to be obedient. Yeah, so I think that's a good thing to know is just get your own hotel. I know it's going to cost a little more. I know there's an incentive when you go on trips like this to share a villa or share a hotel to save money. I get it. But think about your own welfare. People are drinking a lot on these trips. They are not really thinking rationally. So they can get out of character. And we hear about these kind of tragedies a lot when you go on trips because people get drunk and they're not acting their normal self. And sometimes when you're in a place with someone, there could be tensions that can just arise naturally because you're in a in a place together for long hours and periods of time. it's almost bound that there's going to be some type of tension that happens. It's just, it's inevitable. But yes, Leslie, God's got her. She's a woman of God. She believed. She did believe. She did believe. And I'm praying that she's in heaven, and I just pray she gets victory here on earth. I pray she gets justice. And I pray this judicial system throws the book at her, throws the book at, throws the book at the Cabo sickos, and that they all be held accountable. I pray they get all be held accountable. Oh, look at this one. Trissy says, don't be like Lot's wife and get stuck where God's tried to move you away from. Exactly. Don't look back. Woo, that was a nugget, girl. Y'all throwing nuggets in the chat. Exactly. Oh, wait. Drunk person speaks a sober mind, though. That's true. You know what? That is true, Pink Dot. You have not told a lie. You have not told a lie. They do. They speak what exactly they're feeling inside, okay? If you want to know what a person feel about you, just wait till they get drunk. They'll tell you. And this right here is thank you, Bunny. Hi, Bunny. Hi, everybody in the chat. I'm so sorry I didn't say hi. Sometimes I get so caught up in the story I forget. Hi, everybody. Love you all so much. Bunny said, and start charging you have beaten on you. You're like, what the H going on? She didn't have a fighting chance. Those demons are going to be sent straight to HE double hockey sticks. Exactly. She didn't even have a chance. It seemed like they all hated her because they were like crowding around her because they were too busy following along with this little stank, jealous, low vibrational Dejanay. Well, we're not making excuses, Elgin. Nobody was making excuses, girl. I don't know. You must have gotten the chat late or something. We are not making excuses for that at all. We're saying they all should get the book thrown at them. That's what we're saying, okay? Fran said, shoot, I'm having a beer right now. Fran, where are you at having that beer, sweetie? Make sure you're not out in public with somebody. You don't know make sure you trust whoever you with. Get home safe, sweetie. Be careful. Have your one little beer and be careful. Unless you're at home. If you're at home and it's safe in your house, drink away. But don't, just not in public because you can't trust people these days. Okay, thank God. Fran's at home, safe in the house. Okay, go ahead. Have your little beer then. I'm just saying now I'm more skeptical. Speak Vision speaks. Keep your circle small. Pay attention to conversations and things people say and jest about you. Jealous people will always give you clues. They will. They will. It's even from how they look at you. They'll look at you and give you mean stares. They will give you clues. Oh, yes, Miss Matthews. I'm sorry, my sweet love. You did, and I kept my word. Here, I'm going to give you guys this. I'm going to give you the link. But yeah, girl, it's okay. You could rewatch the live, and you could watch it here. I put the link in the chat here. But that's the link to Nancy Grace. And then this was a video analyzing the video of Nancy Grace. So it was a lot of stopping and analyzing and discussing. So I gave you the clip so you could watch it all the way through without all my interruptions. And then this video is just to come and we all came to talk about it, to analyze each part of it, give reactions to it, stuff like that. The fair use part of it, I'm getting my discretion. This was fair use. Yeah, so yeah, you missed it, girl. We've been on here for a while, love. Recall when she covered the Ray Curry case. Yeah, she's really good. It was when she was in the kitchen with Candy baking spaghetti, how she snaps. Right. Nancy Grace is the GOAT. I'm telling you, she broke it down. She broke this story down. She actually reinforced a lot of the things that we have been discussing on my prior videos about our analysis of it. Like my group of people, we've been talking about this case, and a lot of us have been having our certain theories and opinions. And it felt as though the Nancy Grace's experts were reinforcing some of the things that we were able to extract from some of the pieces of information out there. But yes, guys, yes. Oh, you're a king. I'm sorry, Elgin. Look, guys, please have mercy on me, Elgin, because I sometimes can't tell what y'all's genders are, especially when you guys don't have pictures. I can't tell. I'm sorry, but please forgive me. King Elgin, you are a man. Sorry, sweetie. I don't mean any harm. I just didn't know. Sis, I found you recently. I appreciate your platform. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you. Guys, forgive me if I say love a lot and all that. I'm just a complete love bird. I love everybody. I love the world. So if I do, just don't take any mind to it. Crystal said, I always listen to my gut when I interact with. I always listen to, well, let me put this up. I'm very careful who I make friends with. Yeah, you have to be. You have to be. The word says, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Let me find that scripture for y'all. Guard your heart. Let me see. For it is the wellspring of life. That's one of my favorite scriptures. It's Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, he said, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Wow. And that was King Solomon said that. King Solomon was one of the wisest men in the world. He asked for wisdom from God. That was a smart thing to ask for. But it's true. Guard your heart means don't go around trusting everybody. I know you guys have beautiful, beautiful big hearts, but sometimes you got to be watchful and careful and know that you got to look out for yourself. Not for, thinking that other people are going to care for you like you care for them. Yeah, sweetie. It's a lie. I did give you guys some tools to look it up. You can look it up on the Federal Bureau of Prisons and stuff like that to look up her name. If a big media news outlet does not announce it, it didn't happen, Leslie. She's not arrested, sweetie. She's not. It's just that was a fake information that was leaked out, which wasn't true. She's not. It would have been somewhere you could find that information out, sweetie. Didn't happen. It's sad that people are trying to get clicks and views. She's not been arrested yet. It's unclear why she hasn't been arrested yet. I'm like, why is it taking so long? They should have found her by now. She must really be hiding out, y'all. She is hiding somewhere. Somebody's hiding her. That's what I think. Somebody is hiding that girl. She ditched that phone too, because they would have been able to track her down by now if they've had the phone. Always have to listen to your gut. It has saved me so many times. Exactly, Fran. It does save you. Oh, Lovely Bones says, I've been watching Nancy Grace since Top Mom, Jodi Arias. Yeah, me too. Jodi Arias was crazy. Wasn't she, Lovely Bones? Ooh, that lady was a hot mess. And Scott Peterson, he was too. I kind of love how hard she goes. Me too. I love that girl. But you got to watch, if you didn't watch this video about what Nancy Grace said, Nancy Grace was not playing on this one. She was cutting some of her experts off. She was like, I like you and all, but I was like, wow, Nancy, you're doing too much, but I love it. I love it. When it comes to crimes like this, you have to be tough like that, though. You have to be to get to the point, get to what was really going on. Man, Shanquella's injury was of C1, I believe. Yeah, well, yeah, was it a C1 injury? Oh my gosh. But for that nurse to describe how she died and how she couldn't breathe, but she could hear everybody, man, that was way too many details for me, because that made me realize this girl suffered her last moments here at the hands of people who didn't care, who sat there and watched this girl die and then abandoned her in the room, by the way, left her there to die. Went about their own life like nothing happened. That is sad. Yeah, guard your heart, sweeties out there. Don't trust everybody. I know you guys want to, care about people and stuff. But what will keep you alive is if you are conscious of that and you guard your heart. That's what's going to keep you alive. That's what's going to keep you alive, because people out there will betray you. Just like this little fake Diogene. I'm calling her Diogene, y'all. That's what I call her. Is it actually possible for them to have arrested Diogene and it be a whole secret? No, girl, it's not. It would have been on the record somewhere. Nope, she's not arrested. She's not. She is not. In fact, there is a lady that's online who is really close with Judge Joe Brown, and she has connections to the FBI. She has connections to the FBI, and she talked to a source at the FBI who confirmed that Dejanay for sure is not arrested right now. Okay. And you can look it up on the Federal Bureau of Prisons to just type her name in, sweetie, and you will see that she is not there yet. Not yet. But there's no, not in America. If in another country, yeah, that's possible in other countries. But in America, no, it's going to be somewhere on record. Even if they tried to hide, one of those reporters would have been found out. They would have been like, "Oop, we found her. She's in for custody." It wouldn't have been hidden because we have certain constitutional rights too, unless they went to court during, like, made an ex parte appearance, an emergency hearing to seal the information regarding that arrest. But I would wonder what would be the interest to do that. What would be the whole interest to hide that from the public? That's the question I would have. Okay. A lot of people just saying she's arrested, you guys, to get clicks and views from you. They want to be the first to break the story that didn't happen. Don't you see, like, the Los Angeles news station said that a week ago that somebody was arrested. Now we got this guy out in Mexico saying it. They're just trying to break a story. She's not arrested yet, y'all. She's not. Okay. I'm going to tell you the truth that she's not arrested. I'm not going to tell you something just to get a click and view. She's not arrested, honey. Not yet. Not yet. But you will know, sweetie. You will know when Dejanay is arrested because everybody and their mama, all the news outlets are going to be announcing once that happens. You better believe it. Because they have all their staff working on it. They're constantly checking the website, constantly checking the sources. Everybody is on this thing. You better believe they're going to know. You're going to know. Why do they want the public to assume she's been detained or arrested? Smoke and mirrors can be scarier than the actual crime sometimes. Because they're trying to get clicks and views. They know everybody wants this girl arrested. And so they're trying to get people to, like, go and click on their little thing or follow their page and say, oh, they got the first information. So they must be, a good source to go to. That's all this is about. It's clicks and views. They are exploiting Shanquella's death. This case has been one of the cases I haven't seen a case be exploited so much. In many, I've seen a lot of crime cases. We talk about a lot of crime cases on this channel, but I haven't seen one where they have exploited someone's death as much as they're doing to poor Shanquella to try to get a click, a view, and a follow. Yeah, a click and a view and a follow, honey. Yep, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. I don't know why they're taking so long, but you'll know because the mother is going to know first. The parents are going to know first. They're going to be the first to know before any of us find out. I think they're on the run, like the parents are saying. I'm with the parents that they're in hiding and that the officers are probably out there looking for law enforcement, feds, looking for these people. But they'll be found out. They always get caught. They can't hide too long because they're trying to say that all the news outlets are getting their info from he who shall not be named because I forgot it. I love y'all so much. You guys make me so happy. That's why I'm always online because I just love you guys. Anyways, that's funny. He who shall not be named. Girl, that poor guy is not. No, that's a lie. They're not getting all their information from him. They pulled one article from him that we all pulled a while ago that had the police report. And so now he used that one little time where his article got pulled to say everybody's relying upon him. He needs to get over himself. That man seems to be a very arrogant person who hates women based upon, if you're talking about the same person I'm talking about, Gerardo Zuniga, if you're talking about him, based upon that article I seen from Mexico in the court records, he was sued for political gender violence because he was claiming that some woman who was running for office was using her sexuality to get a high position, and it was all a lie. And this poor girl went through a lot of emotional distress to the point where she quit running and sued that man. And now he was sanctioned. He has to pay fines. Or yeah, he was sanctioned. Sorry, that is paying fines. Sorry, he was sanctioned. He had to go take gender classes, and he had to register for gender violence and all that. That man is arrogant. He always going around bragging about 27 years of experiences and awards and awards and awards. He wanted to be the first to break the story, and he got so egotistical because the news outlets used one little report that he did based upon the police report. That doesn't make you credible just because they used your one little police report because they couldn't find anything else out there on this case because it's in Mexico. And unfortunately, I don't know why a lot of Mexican journalists out there aren't really reporting on the story. He happened to be the only one. So yeah, of course they did refer to his one little story about that police report. But he took that and ran with it and thought he was the king of the world. And now he's like, everybody's coming to me. My phone is ringing off the line. Well, honey, you just lost all that credibility when you released that lie talking about those arrests when there really wasn't. Now you lost credibility. In my opinion. It's just an opinion. Disclaimer, opinion. But I'm just saying. Oh my gosh, guys. This is sad. Paris says, when you illuminate and you're beautiful on the inside and out. Exactly. Yes. I just love y'all so much. Y'all make me want to be on here all night. I'm sorry. I need to leave though. They're all hiding. I believe all of them are not together. All of them are probably in different states. Exactly. That's what I think was going on. I think they're trying to find them. I really do, in my opinion, that they're still trying to find them. They must be hiding somewhere, but eventually they'll find them. They always do. They always do. These people are being stubborn. The parents who are harboring them, they're harboring a fugitive. So if they are assisting this woman in hiding or assisting the other ones in hiding, they can also be arrested. Yes, for obstruction of justice and harboring a fugitive. So there are going to be a lot more arrests than just Miss Dejanay, in my opinion. If they get caught harboring this girl and hiding her in places. These people are so ignorant. They don't realize that they're committing crimes if they're out here hiding this girl. In my opinion. Okay. I know they need to do an FBI Most Wanted award for her. What are they doing? Why are they so secretive, though? Why they got to be so secretive? It's the patience for me, just trying to be patient. Oh, I love this one right here. Speak Vision says, it is time to see God like never before. What we are witnessing in the world is Satan at work in full force. Exactly. The only true protection is under the blood of Jesus. I can't agree enough. I can't agree enough. That's all I live by is the Lord. I can't see anything else except through his lenses. So that's why I talk about that. But all right, guys, I could be on here all night. Oh, there's my beautiful Ellen. Okay, Ellen, I love you, girl. She says, sending cosmic hugs to Quella and her family. Amen. Let's send some virtual hugs over to Shanquella, her spirit, praying for her family, for her mother, for her beautiful sister, that they just have God's strength as they try to keep going through this thing. Because I know their patience has run thin. They are like, they need to hurry up and do something. But I think the family knows a lot more than we know. That's why I agree with the mother. When the mother said they're in hiding and they fled, she knows something. They're obviously have already talked. Somebody talked to her, and they know each other, right? They're in the community. So they know friends of friends of friends. So they must have some type of direct communication from someone in that community that knows Dejanay and all them, and knows that these people are in hiding. That's what I think. So I'm getting my source more so from the parents now, because the rest of these witnesses and rumors out here, we don't know what to believe, y'all. There's too many fake news out there. But I love you guys. Have a beautiful night. Take care, everybody. Thank you for watching.